Man, it is a perfect day to be up here. The canyons just feel absolutely gorgeous, so let's check it out.
Hey everyone, Jeff from Hike With Me here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Mount Raymond. So Mount Raymond sits between Mill Creek and Big Cottonwood canyons on the east side of the Salt Lake Valley, and it actually can be accessed from quite a few different locations in both of those canyons. There's also routes that can lead up to the peak via Ness Canyon, though they're pretty long routes. What we're going to be looking at today is probably one of the most straightforward routes, and that's the Butler Fork Trail that starts up Big Cottonwood Canyon. So the Butler Fork route is about 3.5 miles from the trailhead up to the summit, and during that time you gain about 3,400 feet of elevation. Since we're at Big Cottonwood Canyon for this trail, dogs are not going to be allowed. There also is posted at the trailhead a sign about potentially encountering undetonated explosives that are left over from avalanche control programs. So they do post these. I've never actually seen one, but it is something to be aware of if you see something unusual on the trail while you're going up. The trail itself is fairly well maintained and easy to follow. A lot of the underbrush is kept off for the most part, unless you're going really early in the season. And it's pretty reasonable for active children of most ages. There is a little bit of scrambling though once you get near the summit that's probably best left for teenagers or older. So to reach the trailhead for Butler Fork, you're going to want to exit off I-215 onto Highway 190 or Utah 190. You'll drive southeast about 1.7 miles and take the main turn to head east up Big Cottonwood Canyon. 8.2 miles up the canyon, you will be coming around a curve and there will be the trailhead on the northwest side of the road, so on your left. And there will be parking also along the road there at that section for the trailhead.
Okay, we're at the trailhead, suited up and ready to go. Let's check out Mount Raymond.
So once you're actually on the trail, the first half mile or so is probably some of the steepest climbing that you'll do up until near the very end. Once you get past this, you're going to come across a fork about half a mile in. Now this fork, if you turn right, will take you towards Dog Lake. So we're going to stay left to continue up to Mount Raymond.
Okay, so that says Mill Basin. Going this way.
Once you're about 1.4 miles into the hike, you're going to be coming up the side of a ridge, and you will turn sharp right to continue around the Mill Basin. Now there's an option there to turn left instead, and that trail will take you to Circle All Peak. Circle All Peak's actually only about 300 yards away from that fork, so if you just want to make a quick detour, you can do that, and it gives you a nice view of Big Cottonwood Canyon. However, if you're just heading straight for Mount Raymond, once you get to this point, stay right, and you're going to start to emerge out along a ridge along the edge of the Mill Basin. So at this point, the trail starts to open up and you have a better view of what's going on around you, and you also get your first really good view of what Mount Raymond looks like. As you continue along the trail, once you're 1.8 miles in, you come to another clearly marked fork. This one is a sign. If you turn right at this fork, it is another route that will lead you towards Dog Lake. However, we're going to go left to keep on our way to Mount Raymond. This will continue along the Mill Basin, and once you're about 2.8 miles in, you will come to another fork. Now at this fork you could go straight and it will continue around the basin and eventually take you down the Mill B North trail that leads back to a trailhead at the road. We're going to turn sharp right, and that's going to lead us in a couple hundred yards to the saddle that sits between Gobbler's Knob and Mount Raymond. Once you're there, there's actually several different trails that converge at this point. You can head directly east, and that would take you up to the top of Gobbler's Knob. We're going to hit that one another day. You could turn slightly to the northeast, and that will take you down Bowman Fork that eventually lands you in Mill Creek Canyon. What we're going to do for Mount Raymond, though, is head directly west, and this leads up right along a ridge that takes us to the summit. At this point, there's only about 0.6 miles left before we reach the top. However, the trail is not as well maintained for this portion, and it also involves some scrambling. The best known feature along this section is a rock formation, commonly called a knife, and you're going to want both hands free just to climb up this section. There are some drops to both sides, but there are very good handholds, making it very reasonable to climb, and is again very comfortable for teenagers. Probably not something I would take someone younger than a teenager up personally. Once you get across that, you're only a few minutes from getting to the very top.
All right, we have made it to the top of Mount Raymond. We're not going to stick around here too long just because it looks like we've got some weather blowing in. Let's give you a quick tour. Over there you can see Gobbler's Knob. You can see out that direction. That's where we've done some of our hikes. Can't see Lookout Peak really good, but it's over there somewhere. Same with Mount Wire. We're considerably higher than those today. We started at a higher elevation. We're somewhere up around, I think, maybe 10,000 feet. I'll get the exact number for the video. That up there is Mount Olympus. That's one we're probably gonna hit next week. And you can see to the other side over there with Twin Peaks and some other good stuff that we're gonna get to eventually. So let's head back down before we start getting some rain and before we have any thunder head this direction. But whew, it's been good so far. One thing I will say, even with the wind and the weather blowing in, it's kept it really cool. So if anything, it's a bit chilly up here. You can see down there is the saddle. Down through that forest is where we came up and where we're heading back to right now. Let's get a move on.
To get back down, you can follow the same route to the Butler Fork trailhead where you parked, or if you plan to have a pickup, you could always try and go down the Millview North Fork, the Bowman Fork, or a number of other routes that we'll probably talk about in another video.
Thanks for joining us on our way to Mount Raymond. As usual, click here to subscribe. Also check out the GPS track on ViewRanger, and don't forget our website at www.hikewithme.com. Until next time, keep hiking.